Hello, my name's Christina Moog, and I'm the Communications Coordinator with the District of Sooke. It's my pleasure to be living and working on the traditional territories of the Sauk First Nation. So we hope this video will inform residents about the upcoming budget, including the collaborative process that we took to develop it, and the difficult decisions required to respond to the needs of a growing community, balancing the significant cost savings opportunities that we have before us, and maintaining fiscal responsibility. We're listening to the input you provide, and as your neighbors, we share in the challenges and understand your concerns. As a community, you identified a priority for the local road infrastructure, continuing with the implementation of the Transportation Master Plan, the Parks and Trails Master Plan, and responding to the climate emergency. The 2022 budget will deliver on these community asks with an approximate increase of $100 per year per household, or $8.33 per month. In addition to this video, our team is pleased to meet with residents in person at an upcoming open house on December 1st here at the Municipal Hall from 3 to 7 p.m. While we hope this video will answer most of your budget questions, please know that in addition to joining the December 1st open house, you can also submit questions online at letstalk.sooke.ca/budget or call 250-642-1634. How the district provides services for its citizens, spends money, and sets priorities has a big impact on everyday life. For example, what we spend on roads and sidewalks impacts how you get around. How much is spent on emergency services determines how long it takes a fire truck to get to your house. And what is spent on streetlights and policing affects neighborhood safety. How the district invests your tax dollars is important. It's one of the most important decisions made in the community each year. So what exactly is the district's budget? And how does it get spent? Here's our Director of Finance, Rachel Gray, to tell you more.
Hi, I'm Rachel Gray, Director of Financial Services. The budget is an annual plan where money is invested across the community. It includes revenue and expenses. This chart shows the distribution of funding sources in the district's budget. Funding sources include grants, borrowing, fees and charges, transfers from reserves, and property taxes. Like your own personal budget, the district's budget is divided into two main types of expenses, operating and capital. Operating expenses are the daily or monthly expenses you pay to keep things running. For the district, this includes things like park maintenance, legislative requirements, and reception services. Capital expenses are the one-time purchases or upgrades you buy as an investment for the future. Things like renovation for your home or new appliances. For the district, these are things like sidewalks, road corridor upgrades, trail expansions, and park improvements. How the district spends its budget comes from decisions made by your mayor and council, staff's technical recommendations, and feedback from you. Our team connected with residents over the summer and through the recent Citizen Budget Survey to receive your input. Your voices inform this budget, and we thank you for your participation. It is important to note that through property taxes, the district also collects money on behalf of third-party agencies that fund schools, hospitals, and the Capital Regional District. In 2020, of the property taxes collected, only 44% funded district services. Services provided by the district include servicing of local roads and underground services, including storm and wastewater, fire, policing, administrative services, parks and trails, bylaw and legislative services, planning, development and building services, and finance and information technology. Again, the 2022 budget proposes an increase of approximately $100 per household for the district services based on the average assessed property value in Sooke. That's $8.33 per month that will be invested in implementation of the Transportation Master Plan, including a roundabout at Church and Throop, a road paving program that will provide critical repairs to several areas in the community, including Connie and Manzer roads, and an employment land strategy, which is foundational work to diversify our tax base so that we are not as dependent on residential taxes in the future as we are today. To tell you more about the service area specifics, team leads will share further details on the budget. Here's Jeff Carter, Director of Operations, to talk about roads and underground services.
I'm Jeff Carter. I'm Director of Operations for the District of Sooke. Departments I hold responsibility over are engineering, capital projects and GIS, as well as public work operations and wastewater operations, parks and environmental service, as well as subdivision and land development. Next year's budget for wastewater, we're progressing through development and implementation of the wastewater master plan. We're going to be working on inflow and infiltration strategy to reduce the inflow going into our system. And we're going to be in the process through 2022 of final design and procurement to implement a $6.5 million expansion to our wastewater treatment plant. In terms of capital projects for engineering department, we're carrying over a lot of our design projects where we're designing collectively about 80% of the transportation master plan. We'll be bringing close to final design the Throop Connector, Charters Corridor, as well as Throop Corridor. And we're going to be going forward with the implementation of the Church Road Roundabout project. In conjunction with that, we're going to be rolling out a $700,000 paving program, and we're going to be putting infrastructure in for future expansions of EV charger networks, and we're collectively working with BC Hydro right now as part of their fast charger program to explore opportunities of implementation going in the near future. Following that, we have a huge material acquisition project that we're working collectively with the ministry on, where we're going to be acquiring over 30,000 cubic meters of material. This material is going to be repurposed and going towards the construction of all our TMP projects over the next 5 to 10 years. By proceeding with the Church Road Roundabout this year, it's going to see some substantial savings because we're going to be doing it in unison with a large development that's going on across the street. Also in 2021, we were successful with receiving $500,000 in funding to go towards this project. Now, the problem with not doing the project in 2022 is that these grant programs come up $500,000 to $1 million every year or two, and if we weren't complete this project, we wouldn't be eligible for any future grant opportunities. With the 2022 budget, our focus on the paving program will be focused on some of the rural roads that are near the ministry's highway project. We're going to focus in on Connie Road and Manza Road and look at opportunity cost savings and working with the ministry and getting those completed through 2022. When these transportation projects are implemented, we're replacing critical storm infrastructure, which a lot of it is nearing its life expectancy and failing within the district. So through the construction of these capital projects, we're replacing all the critical storm infrastructure, plus we're providing means of active transportation, multimodal transportation, which ultimately is going to give people the opportunity to find alternate means of transportation, getting their vehicles off the road, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Also, with the completion of these transportation projects, it's going to improve the connectivity within Sooke, reduce the traffic congestion, and again, reduce idling time and have a big impact in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. One of the interesting things with our material acquisition project with the ministry, not only are we realizing over $1 million in savings by acquiring this material from the ministry, ultimately there's going to be a one-time hit of 200 metric tons of greenhouse gas reductions by repurposing this material within Sooke as opposed to transporting it to holding places outside of Sooke. Ultimately, all the district services are integrated, and safely getting around Sooke by having these corridor connections completed is absolutely critical to ensure timely response for emergency services as well. And here's Chief Ryder to share more.
My name is Ted Ryder. My position with the District of Sooke is Director of Community Safety, Fire Chief. For budget 2022, we're looking closely at revamping and reviewing our paid on-call model. It's important that we understand how best to recruit and retain our paid on-call staff members, and it can be challenging. Also looking at continuing on with some station renovations to allow us to effectively operate. So some of the priorities for 2022 would be to consider bringing on one additional firefighter to help with some staffing issues we currently have. Some of the other things we're looking at is strengthening our emergency management program and also looking at educating the public in regards to Fire Smart and including Fire Smart principles in our development building permits. So Sooke Fire Rescue responds to all types of calls, whether that be fires, meaning wildland, commercial, industrial, residential fires. We respond to motor vehicle incidents, hazardous materials calls. We do technical rope rescue and all sorts of things. A typical response time for Sooke Fire Rescue is approximately 5 to 6 minutes. That would be basing it on a medical response through the daytime. When we go to outlying areas where we have mutual aid or automatic aid agreements, it could be a little bit longer. It could be 15 to 20 minutes because we're waiting for our paid on-call staff to complement our response. One of the other things that influences response times would be whether it's through the day or through the nighttime. So we don't have a career presence on night shift. We rely on paid on-call. So that usually would add some time to the response. Traffic obviously is another hindrance with Highway 14. So the Tender Shuttle Service Program. So basically that is an alternative water supply for rural firefighting. So we team up with other departments, our mutual aid partners, who have water tenders. And what we do is we coordinate a response that allows us to flow a certain amount of water per minute in regards to firefighting. And so the beauty of that is it allows those folks that have properties in the rural area to actually have a reduction in their insurance based on the fact that we can get there and we can provide the correct water flows. Fire services is one aspect of the District of Sooke's community safety program. Policing is another aspect. With that, I'd like to introduce you to Staff Sergeant Brett Sinden.
My name is Staff Sergeant Brett Sinden, and I am the Detachment Commander of the Sooke RCMP Detachment. We serve the District of Sooke as well as the Juan de Fuca electoral area, which includes Port Renfrew to the west and East Sooke to the east. So we serve both the provincial area and the District of Sooke. We're very fortunate, the District of Sooke, recognizing the growing needs of the community and the demands that are placed on our policing abilities, has approved an additional body starting January 2022. So we will have another policeman serving the needs of the District of Sooke in that year. Certainly our priorities are just to continue to try to keep up to the rapid growth and the rapid expectations placed on the police as we serve the community. Our biggest challenge is that we're serving a growing community and we need to do everything we can do to keep up to those demands. We're responsible for all aspects of policing, enforcement of the Criminal Code, Highway Traffic Act, provincial offenses, as well as responding to emergencies to assist the citizens of Sooke. So with the support of the District of Sooke, our department is growing with the community, and we are here to prevent crime, investigate crime, enforce Criminal Code of Canada, as well as provincial statutes, and to respond to the emergency needs of the citizens of Sooke. Within the 5-year financial plan, we're looking forward to continued growth of our detachment in order to meet the needs of the community, and with an ultimate goal of being able to provide 24-hour policing, which is a necessity for the community and something we don't have at this point. The Sooke RCMP are here to serve you and the community. We encourage you to call 911 in the event of an emergency. For non-emergency incidents, please call our office at 250-642-5241. And we encourage you to utilize the online reporting tool as well, which can be located on our webpage, as well as the District of Sooke's webpage. So the policing contract for the District of Sooke is administered through the District of Sooke by Mayor and Council, as well as the Chief Administration Officer. So with that, here is Norm McInnes.
Norm McInnes, I'm the Chief Administrative Officer with the District of Sooke. I report directly to Council, and all department directors report directly to the CEO with the goal of implementing Council's strategic priorities. In addition, I have direct responsibility for human resources, corporate communications, community economic development, and climate action. For 2022, climate action will receive dedicated standalone resources. This will allow us to move our community economic development function to planning and development, which will allow them to have a renewed focus on long-term planning. Our priorities for 2022 will be to continue to work with community groups as we deal with and hopefully come out of the COVID pandemic. We do this through our community grants program, which offers $65,000 on an annual application process, as well as dedicated funding for the Sooke Food Bank, the Philharmonic Society, the Sooke Fine Arts Council, Community Arts Council, and the Christmas Bureau. We also have service agreements with the Sooke Region Communities Health Network, the Sooke Community Association, Tourism Association, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Visitor Information Center. And we're really proud to support the work of these important community builders. Priority for communications in 2022 is to develop a communications and engagement strategy highlighting our annual planning and budget cycle, focusing on how citizens can continue to be informed and stay involved. Our priority for HR is implementing a performance and development framework for district staff focused on continuing to improve our corporate culture and service excellence. Our purpose is to provide services that enhance the quality of life for residents of Sooke. And last, our priority for climate action is to complete the District of Sooke Climate Action Plan, implement the 7% solution for GHG emissions, and kick off our campaign for climate action, which will happen on Earth Day 2022. And to tell you a little bit more about the District of Sooke's climate action work, I'll turn it over to our Parks and Environmental Services Coordinator, Jessica Boquist.
My name's Jessica Boquist, and I'm the Parks and Environmental Services Coordinator. In our department, we look after almost 80 parks and almost 50 kilometers of trails. We maintain 10 public washrooms and deal with the garbage and transit shelters throughout the district. We also do seasonal adornment and look after over 700 district-owned trees in our urban forest. In environmental services, we have a number of programs, including a marine debris cleanup, water sampling, invasive species management, and we do development referrals as well. So in the Parks Department, we are working on the implementation of the Parks and Trails Master Plan that was adopted in 2020. Two priorities identified in the plan that you can look forward to opening in the new year are the Stickleback Dog Park and multi-use sport box. In 2022, those priorities include a whiff and spit master plan. So each year, whiff and spit is damaged by winter storms. So this planning process will help us to determine the best course of action. The 2022 budget will also fund new parks auxiliary laborers that will help us to maintain new parks and trails acquisitions throughout the district. The third area of focus in the 2022 budget is climate action. This budget will bring us a full-time climate action coordinator. This will also help us to develop green corporate practices, including a climate adaptation mitigation strategy and the implementation of a citizen call to action for the climate emergency. This will be launched on Earth Day 2022 to support you in being part of Sooke's 7% solution and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. As Jeff Carter mentioned, district services are all integrated. A critical aspect to caring for our parks and environment is the development, implementation, education, and enforcement of bylaws. Here's Carolyn Mushata, the district's corporate officer, to tell you more.
I'm Carolyn Mushata, Director of Corporate Services with the District of Sooke. My department is responsible for legislative services and bylaw enforcement and business licensing. The new budget requests for 2022 include a second e-bike for our bylaw enforcement services, and that is a capital project. And then from the operating side, it's the amount required for our election. We will be looking at utilizing VoterView, which is an electronic voter book, which will allow us to have three benefits. Number one, COVID related, we will eliminate the paper books used to require to get your ballots. We will be able to process people faster through the voting station, and we will also increase our transparency. We administer business licensing for more than 800 businesses within Sooke. And in 2022, Corporate Services will be working with Community Economic Development to develop a wayfinding program to support businesses launching and expanding their operations in Sooke. Here's Matthew, Director of Planning, Development, and Building Services, to share more.
Hello, I'm Matthew Paulo, Director of Planning and Development with the District of Sooke. Our department contains the divisions of Planning, Building Safety, and Community Economic Development. In the Planning Division, we oversee the administration of the official community plan, which ensures that the community vision is in alignment with the land use policies. We review applications and provide advice to staff and council on matters such as rezoning and development permits. In the Building Safety Division, building inspectors work with applicants to ensure the requirements of the BC Building Code, as well as our building bylaw and subdivision and development standards, are being met at the time of construction. Lastly, in the Community Economic Development Division, we work towards making sure that employment opportunities are available in the District of Sooke while ensuring alignment with our land use policies. Throughout the official community planning review process, we've heard loud and clear from the community that there needs to be more opportunities to keep people in Sooke. With that, the department is seeking to have an employment land strategy developed throughout 2022, which will look at the review of our current economic analysis report and build upon it to see where there is readiness and willingness from property owners to help us support more non-residential growth within our community. As well, it actions many of the items that are being developed throughout the draft OCP. The official community plan identifies the employment land strategy as one of those items. The successful completion of this document will help identify the readiness and willingness of property owners to have lands available to address employment needs within our community. We recognize the strain that is being created by ongoing residential growth, and this is a key piece to ensuring that non-residential can meet those requirements. With the adoption of the official community plan next year, we see the growth being managed within the District of Sooke as a key piece to our success and opportunities for alternative revenue streams to support a lot of the initiatives that have been identified throughout the engagement process of the official community plan. With that, here is Rachel Gray, Director of Financial Services.
In the service area for finance and IT are investments in asset management planning, which is a critical piece of information the district needs to ensure we have the correct information to make long-term financing decisions to save for future replacement of our capital asset infrastructure. As well included in there is an increase in our insurance premiums, because every year our insurance premiums have been increasing in this market, so staff have requested a lift into that annual budget. For 2022, the Finance and IT Department is really focused on improving internal efficiencies. That's been a critical focus for the district over 2021 and will continue on into 2022. And this is to ensure that our online component is a lot more functional for anybody wanting to do business with Sooke, and as well provide internal efficiencies to staff so we can get through applications and permits faster in order to provide more timely service to the residents and businesses and developers in the community. We hope this video has helped to inform you about Sooke's upcoming budget. If you have any questions, please join us for the in-person open house on December 1st from 3 to 7 p.m. at Municipal Hall. Submit questions online at letstalk.sooke.ca/budget or give us a call at 250-642-1634. If you are not already subscribed to receive electronic notifications conveniently delivered to your inbox, please visit sooke.ca. Under online services, you can opt in to receive meeting notifications or our monthly newsletters. It's a great way to stay connected with what's happening in our community.